Lamar Jackson has become one of the most well-known and celebrated quarterbacks in the NFL, not to mention the highest paid. And he did it all without the help of an agent. It might seem unbelievable, but this starting QB from the Baltimore Ravens has been breaking records both on the gridiron and off for several years now. He's managed to make a name for himself from humble beginnings and single-handedly landed one of the most lucrative contracts in the history of the league. How did he do it? And exactly how much money did Lamar Jackson save himself by doing it his way and on his terms? We've got the answers to these questions and more, but you'll have to stick around until the end of this video to find out. For now, sit back, relax, and learn the story of a young boy from Florida who beat the odds and became one of the highest paid players in NFL history. Lamar Demetrius Jackson Jr. was born on January 7, 1997, the son of Lamar Jackson Sr. and Felicia Jones. Tragically, Lamar's father passed away from a heart attack the very same day that Lamar's grandmother passed away. The young boy was only 8 years old when the tragedy happened, and his mother was left to raise him and his siblings as a single parent going forward. Lamar grew up in a tough neighborhood in Pompano Beach, Florida, and started his football career at a very young age, playing Pop Warner football, where he reportedly could already throw a football 20 yards. By the time Lamar made it to Boynton Beach High School, his arm had improved to where he could throw that ball 100 yards. Lamar was a superstar quarterback for his high school team and left high school with a quarterback rating of 102.7. Jackson had quite a few options out of high school, but ultimately settled on Louisville University. Part of what cemented his decision to head to Kentucky was a promise given to his mother by head coach Bobby Petrino that Lamar would be playing the quarterback position and nothing else. Lamar's rookie season with the Cardinals was a successful one. The quarterback played in 12 games and made 8 starts. By the end of the year, he had completed 135 successful passes for 1,840 yards and 12 touchdowns with 8 interceptions. He ran for 960 yards and made 11 rushing touchdowns. The rest of Jackson's college career looked pretty much the same, and some might say it culminated with the Cardinals quarterback winning the Heisman Trophy in 2016. Beating out players like Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield. With the win, Lamar became the first Heisman winner in Louisville University history and the youngest recipient of the trophy at just under 20 years old. Jackson almost took home the Heisman twice after he was nominated again in 2017, but the Florida native finished in third place, losing out to Mayfield and Bryce Love. He finished that season with 3,660 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 232 carries for 1,601 rushing yards, and 18 rushing touchdowns. Ready to learn more about Jackson's standalone contract and find out exactly how much money he might have saved by acting as his own agent? Don't worry, it's coming up at the end of this video, but first, let's talk about that contract. Lamar's willingness to stand up for what he wanted started right out of college when he announced he would be entering the 2018 NFL Draft. Some pundits thought Jackson's build was more suited to a wide receiver position than quarterback, but Lamar wasn't hearing it. During the NFL scouting combine, he even refused to run drills like the 40-yard dash, instead wanting to focus on his passing skills. His decision worked out for him in the end, and Lamar Jackson was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, the 32nd overall pick in the first round. His rookie contract was worth $9.47 million and included a $4.97 million signing bonus. Jackson made his regular season NFL debut, relieving Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco in the second half of a 47-3 victory against the Buffalo Bills, and his starting debut against the Cincinnati Bengals after Flacco injured his hip. Since then, he's been busy racking up records and awards in Baltimore, including being the youngest quarterback ever in the NFL to start a Pro Bowl game in 2020. A performance that also earned him the MVP award. He also earned MVP of the entire 2019 season, becoming the second player in history to win by unanimous vote and the second youngest to take home the title. Since then, Jackson has battled back from COVID-19 not once, but twice. His second bout happened right after the Ravens quarterback exercised the fifth-year option on his contract, which guaranteed him $23 million for the 2022 season. He's come back from injuries, faced down opposition, and came out victorious through it all. And for Jackson, his toughest battle off the football field was yet to come. After performing in peak condition with the Baltimore Ravens since joining the NFL, Jackson was ready to land a big contract. So, in 2022, he turned down a contract extension that he felt didn't live up to his worth. Lamar wanted to keep playing and prove just how valuable he could be to the Ravens organization or take his talents elsewhere. He put his all into the 2022 season, surpassing Michael Vick for the most 100-yard rushing games by a QB, led the league in quarterback rating with 119 and passing touchdowns during the first month of the season, and earned the title of AFC Offensive Player of the Month after earning 12 combined touchdowns, more than the number scored by 30 other NFL teams by that point in the season. Unfortunately, Jackson suffered a sprained PCL in Week 13 that put him out for 5 games and lost his chance to play for the Ravens during the wildcard game against the Bengals. By now, you must be wondering just how Lamar Jackson managed to net one of the largest contracts in the history of the NFL without the help or guidance of an agent. Well, it started early on in 2023. When the Ravens placed a non-exclusive franchise tag on Lamar, which quickly led the quarterback to take to Twitter and announce that he was requesting a trade. Jackson is quoted as saying the Ravens front office has not been interested in meeting my value. Jackson's willingness to play hardball and call the Ravens bluff worked in his favor, and on April 27, 2023, he signed a 5-year contract worth $260 million, with $185 million guaranteed and the biggest signing bonus in NFL history at $72.5 million. That means he would receive $52 million per year, instantly making him the highest paid player in the league just 10 days after Jalen Hurts earned the same title. Keep watching to learn how Jackson is spending all those millions and how much he might have saved himself by acting as his own agent. To start, Lamar Jackson probably spends some of his salary wining and dining with his girlfriend, Jamie Taylor. The pair have been an item since 2017 after meeting at the University of Louisville. Aside from that, Jackson loves to spend his money on shiny new cars, like his Mercedes SL 500 Grand Edition, which he was caught doing 105 miles per hour back in 2019. Jackson also owns a Nissan Maxima with a custom black wrap and a boosted-up sound system. But his favorite ride is said to be his Rolls-Royce Wraith, which came with a price tag of $343,000. With luxury vehicles like those, Lamar definitely needed some place to safely park them. And what better place than the garage of his newly purchased mansion in Owing Mills, Maryland? The nearly 8,000 square foot home set Lamar back an estimated $900,000 when he bought it back in 2018, and is now worth around $1.26 million. It features 8 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a recreation room, a gym, and even a wet bar. And of course, a sizable 3-car garage for keeping his automobiles safe and sound. So, Lamar Jackson now has the giant contract he always wanted and was willing to hold out for. He's got the girl, the cars, and the mansion to go along with it, and he's got a bright future in the NFL. Now for the answer to the big question. Just how much did Lamar Jackson save by acting as his own agent? Throughout his NFL career, Jackson has scoffed at the idea that he needed an agent, even tweeting about it after the Ravens offered him a 3-year, $133 million contract, one Jackson turned down because he knew what he was really worth. An agent might have persuaded the quarterback to accept that contract, and that would have been bad advice for Jackson, who held out for twice that much. Plus, if Jackson had hired an agent to negotiate on his behalf, that person would have likely taken home 3% of the contract amount. Only one needs to do the math to figure out that on a contract of the size Jackson signed, That would have been an expensive invoice to cover. But thanks to Lamar Jackson's confidence in his abilities, his drive to make it all the way, and his ability to stick to his guns, the Ravens quarterback doesn't have to share that monumental payday with anyone, except maybe his girlfriend.